Hi there, Release Fire here, and it's the exciting moment in Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart for the final boss fight. So I'm going to talk you through how to beat the Imperial Power Suit, the Heart, and Emperor Nefarious all in one go. It's not the most difficult boss fight, but you do need to do certain things to be able to finish it off. So you can see I fired out the topiary and then using the Negatron right into the middle of the screen. So you've got to hit the screen in the middle to do any damage to the big Imperial Power Suit's claw. So you can see here again, just hitting it in the screen, and anytime its laser comes near me, I'm ready with a dodge to get out of the way. But you can also see it takes a lot of chipping away to finish off the Imperial Power Suit. It's taken a lot of dodges to get out of the way of the laser beam, and then in addition to that, just trying to get in the damage directly onto the screen itself. But if you keep following that process, then you should be able to get it down to around about 75% when it moves on to the next phase of the battle and the head starts to appear. Again, the topiary is a good way to freeze it in place, and then you're just looking for your big hitting guns, for example the Negatron or the Headhunter or the Rhino 8, and all those will do some really good damage. But this time you're again looking for the screen, but the screens are small and they're in its eyes. So you're looking for the two eyes that you need to aim for. And I used the Rhino 8 then, it did some decent damage. But this time I'm using the Headhunter to get some exact damage right on the eye. And that's a good way to hone in right into the eye itself. And if you keep following that process again, you should be able to get through to the next phase when the claw comes out. But you can see it's a bit more aggressive with the laser. So again, you're going to need to use the dodge quite a lot. And then the final part of the head attack comes and it starts to fire out a lot more attacks. So dodge and fire, aiming for its eyes, and you should slowly and surely chip it away. What I found as a good move is to use the lightning bolts to freeze it in place. That did a lot of damage, and if you can combine that with an alternative move like the Warmonger, you can do some really decent damage as well. You can see there it took about 4% off in a couple of hits. And another good move to use against the last part of the claw is the Black Hole Storm, which you can fire directly into the middle, and you can see again that just really took quite a lot of health away, and that will see you on into the heart, where you've got to focus on the nodes. You can see the red things, and I use the Shatter Blast to do the most damage. You can see it just destroys the nodes. I'm like down to 20% done in a few hits. I had a good amount of them, so I was able to take the nodes out really quickly and get down to around about 50% in less than a few minutes. And then you just need to track around to the other nodes and finish those off. And I used the Warmonger to do a big amount of damage when my Shatter Blasts had started to run out. So that allowed me to destroy it relatively quickly, and that will see you through to the final section of the final boss fight against Emperor Nefarious. And again, he's back with the laser, but you can freeze him in place with the topiary and hit him up with the Negatron, and that did 10% in total by just hitting 3 Negatrons in one go. And you can cycle, rinse, repeat that for a while. But just keep an eye out for his swooping dive move, which you need to dodge out of the way of. It looks worse than it is, and it's relatively easy to dodge, so as soon as you get the knack, you should be able to get out of the way of that. And then another good move to use is Ricochet, because it interrupts his laser attack. So you can get in with Ricochet and do some really good damage, while also stopping it from using the laser. Now sometimes you'll find Emperor Nefarious trapped behind you, so turn around to do some damage, but make sure you turn back to the front section when he returns so that you don't get caught with him attacking you from behind. And then when the enemies start to arrive, use the Executor to finish them off relatively easily, and then the Rhino is a good way to do some big damage at this stage, because you've got Kit over there distracting him, and you should be able to bring him down to around about the 30% mark. And when anybody else arrives, keep on doing some damage, but again, Kit will help to finish them off really quickly. So if anything, you should probably focus most of your efforts And you can see here I'm using Ricochet pretty much with total impunity for the entire section without getting hit at all, with only a little bit of laser dodging to do, and now he's down to around about 20%. And for the final section, I just fired out all of my drones. So I sent out loads of mist mushrooms, and they helped to finish off Emperor Nefarious relatively easily. There's another little section towards the end of this where he fires in way more enemies, and for this I just fired out a hell of a lot of Glove of Doom robots, and they help to finish them off as well. And that sees you through to the final little section with Emperor Nefarious in the final boss fight, where you just need to take out all the enemies. But again, Kit will help you finish them off, and then as soon as you see Kit land on the ground, once they're all finished off, you can then head on up to her, press X, and Kit will fire you up to Emperor Nefarious for a big smashing hammer blow to the face to finish off the final boss fight in Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. And that is how to beat the Imperial Power Suit, Heart, and Emperor Nefarious in Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Like I said earlier, if the video helps you out, drop me a like below. You can also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already with the link on the left hand side, and see more of my guide to Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart with the links on the right hand side. Leave any comments and I'll catch you next time.